How did you go about, because I know, getting the business is one challenge, and the next challenge is now uh, getting people to do the work. And you mentioned, you kind of started, you were a year and a half in, and then COVID hit, which was made it probably even 10 times worse. But kind of from a client retention and an employee retention, what kind of strategies do you use, or how did you navigate through that growth?
Well, we've had a lot of hard lessons over the years. I wish that I could have just sat down with someone who was fully experienced in janitorial cleaning, who had been through all of it in the very beginning, and just had someone tell me what not to do.
Yeah.
Because I've had some very expensive mistakes, and and I've had some mistakes that hurt as well. But I would say the main so exactly what was the question again? Because I know we're
Yeah,
talking
from
about
from
mistakes.
from from getting the employees and then
Yeah,
keeping
how we're
them.
keeping them. So with the employees, we have went back and forth and have not always held our feet to the fire as far as being consistent with training. And so I think that was a huge, because we were just trying to fill seats in the beginning. So if you showed up to the interview, we were like, yay, we're going to go ahead and start you. We would go in, show them around, do some hands-on training, go on to the next. Well, our turnover rate was, I mean, it's crazy in this industry anyways, but it
Yeah.
was really bad. I had to really sit down and be like, okay, Amber, what are you doing wrong? Like there has to be a solution to this. And I sat down and I looked at my core values that I'd established when I first started, because we kind of sit down and we did all of that foundation work that you're supposed to do. And so I sat down and I looked at my core values, and I realized that I was hiring to fill a seat and not hiring based on building a culture.
Mm.
And so, throughout COVID was pretty tough because it was, we were ball and chain to employees. Like even if they weren't doing a great job, we had to keep giving them chance after chance after chance. And then finally, we just got to a point to where once I started hiring based on the core values, and I started getting people in the seats that aligned with our vision, not saying every single person's been that, but a majority of them have, we were able to retain employees, and I was able to slowly let go of the team members that were hurting the company.
Yeah.
And so since then, we have had a very, very slow increase. I mean, almost kind of like, but then I got really, really intentional at the first of this year in scaling. And, I set some very specific goals in place, an action plan to obtain those goals. And, honestly, like since I set those, probably the end of January, 1st of February, I've already hit the goals and surpassed them as far as my scaling goes. So I
Wow.
think it just all boils down to when I set in my mind that, hey, this isn't working. What am I going to do? So I wrote down a game plan, took the action with the employees, and the same way with growing the business.